Hi, everybody. Welcome to Friday morning Vinyasa Flow. So we're going to start right away today. I'm Sarah Clark. I'm covering for Jody right now. So just coming into a child's pose. I think that's how we'll start today. If you have a block, grab your block. You don't need to have one. There's, of course, always options. All right. So either resting your head on the floor, your block, we're just going to come right away into easy child's pose here. So close your eyes. A time to check in to your inner environment. Time to notice your breath, the quality of your breath, the ease or lack of ease that might exist in your inhale and your exhale. Let your shoulders soften so you can bend your elbows. If you just notice right now you're already engaged in your arms, try and soften that. Now start to notice your inner core body. So on your inhalation, you relax your belly. And then when you exhale, you find a bit of a squeeze around your belly and within. Then also you notice the bandha locks that you make. The squeeze from the inside. Slight lift of your pelvic floor as you breathe. So tuning inside, and allow a word or sensation to arise, something to nurture why you're here. Why are you here to practice today? Is there an intention for the practice? And you can set it right here. All right, starting to move a little bit here. Walk your hands forward. And take your hands shoulder distance apart, then drop down your elbows where your hands are. And so your elbows are shoulder distance apart. And so right away, we're going to notice the core body coming alive, cinching in around your waist. Press your hands, palms down to the floor, and then tuck your toes under. Now from here, you're going to lift your hips all the way up to the sky. And as you lift up into dolphin pose, you're just going to allow your knees to bend and your hips to sway from side to side. Dolphin pose. So you bend one leg at a time, you straighten one leg at a time, and then you notice if your elbows are splaying out. If so, squeeze the elbows in like you're holding a ball between your elbows. Drop your head, give it a little shake. Feel the muscles in your spine come alive as you pull and lift your sits bones up towards the sky. Take another breath in here. And when you exhale, feel that extension one more time in your spine, lifting your hips up. All right, and then look forward as you continue to stay on your elbows. You're going to come into plank, and right away, I'm just starting to move my hips from side to side. So you can dip one hip at a time and just make sure that your palms, as much as possible, stay fastened to the floor. So your hips move to one side and then the other. All the while, pull your heart forward. And then find a neutral position in a strong plank with your legs alive. Look forward. And then right down onto your hips. Your belly touches the floor. Now, as you maintain this Sphinx pose, imagine like you are dragging your elbows back towards your hips. You can gaze forward. Now, engage your legs so much that your kneecaps lift away from the floor. You can look forward. You can even look up if that feels appropriate or nurturing for your neck. Doesn't always work for everyone. Take 2 more breaths here. This is a very engaged position with your legs alive. Pulling the shoulder blades down into your back pocket as you continue to lift your heart up. All right, and then come to look back on the floor. You pull your navel in towards your spine, tuck your toes under, lift off the ground. So you're in this plank. And then roll over to the outer edge of the right foot. Now, not everyone's shoulder is ready for this kind of movement right away. So if you need this support, keep the left hand on the floor. Otherwise, take your left hand to the sky. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Keep the right hand flat to the floor and the fingers pointing straight forward. And then releasing as you exhale, come down onto that left elbow and roll over to the other side. Gentle with yourself, supportive all the while. As you press into your left hand, whole body supporting you. Alive. For 2. For 1. Back down onto both of your elbows, both your forearms. And then puff up your upper back. And hold for 5. For 4. For 3. 2. And then right knee underneath your hip, left knee under the other hip. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, knee comes in. Inhale up. Keep your elbows pressing down. Keep your hands from splaying open. So you're still maintaining so much integrity with your arms. 1 more. Lifting of the right foot and then exhale to squeeze it in. Drop the knee and left leg lifts up. Straight into the other side. Readjust your arms as many times as you need to. Staying connected to that, like it is your foundation that you will build everything on. 2 more. Soften out the edges of your breath. And then onto the knees, you're going to press back to lift all the way up. Relax your shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale, your arms come up. And exhale, hands to your heart center. And lock the fingers, press your palms forward and up. Lift up tall. Tuck your toes underneath of you if they're not. Lean back as you reach up and over to the right. Keep your palms lifting up and over. And then inhale back to center. Go over to the left side now. Like a half moon. Level the shoulders, left shoulder a little forward, right shoulder back. 1 more. Full breath as you stretch up and over. And then come back up and hands come out in front of you. Into tabletop, slap the top of your feet on the floor. And left arm is going to reach up towards the sky. Then sweep this hand underneath of your right. Drop your head to the floor and a little stretch. You can start to twist further, looking up towards the ceiling. You can take your right hand away from your head. Preparing to reverse out on your inhale, lift your left arm up towards the sky, and then take the left leg, straighten it back. We come into a side plank, wild thing variation. Lift your left arm high and creep the right hand a little bit more forward so it's slightly in front of your shoulder. And stretch up. Now, if you want to go a little bit bigger, straighten out the right leg away from your mat. Keep it lifted off the ground. Left arm stretching up for 3, for 2, and 1. A transition into side plank, other side. All right. You can take your right foot and rest it on top of your right leg. Lift your right arm up. Keep the hips level. And stay for 3. Breathe for 2. And 1. Take a downward facing dog. Extend your hips up to the sky. Drop your head. With your feet hip distance apart, see that. See your press the balls of the feet into the floor. Gather a breath in, and when you breathe out, walk your hands back to your feet. Gently, or generously, bend at your knees, and then drop your head. So your variation of a forward fold. To hold your elbows, to hold the back of your legs, to hold your head or your shoulders. Just do as you wish here. But I will say one thing about the position of the weight. Balance out the weight on your feet. So it's not too far back or too far forward. It's not on the outside too much or the inside. Another couple breaths to release tension in your neck. Now with that generous bend in your knees, you're going to gather your hands together to interlock your fingers. You can release your index finger. Just cross your thumbs. With your arms glued with your ears and your knees bent, you will rise up with a straight spine. All the way to stand. Okay, stand up tall. With your arms glued to your ears, you want to take your shoulders down, and you might feel that the arms don't touch your ears anymore. Lift yourself up and over to the right. Half moon. It might feel more appropriate for you to have your feet together. That's all good too. Lift up and over. So relax your shoulders here. Keep your chin lifted. Hips move to the left as you find your edge. You go a little deeper as long as your upper body is solid, strong. Stay for 3. Breathe for 2. And 1, come up to center. All right, going right into the other side. So lift yourself up and out of your waist. And as you exhale, reach over to the left. Up and over with your chin lifted, your shoulders softened, and your breath steady. Steady breath, steady posture. Make sure you are breathing. Hips and shoulders stay level. Look forward. Feel the pose. The strength of your body. Now find your edge. Go there. Full expression. Strong pose. Hold for 3. For 2. And 1. Okay. Come back up to center. Lift up. And hinge forward, knees bent, straight spine, and all the way. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, halfway up. And then walk your hands forward to high plank. Exhale, lower yourself down, down, controlled to your belly. All right, little cobra. Inhale, you push yourself up. Use your hands. Keep your legs on the floor, and then lower yourself back down. Okay, we're going to do 2 more like that, eventually getting ourselves into an upward facing dog. Another one. All right, so next one will be your upward dog or another cobra with your elbows bent. So you can lift your hips off the floor, you can straighten your arms, and then back into a downward facing dog. Drop your head. Let your knees come down to the floor so that you're back in that tabletop position. Take your right hand up and then twist as you take your right arm underneath of your left and drop your shoulder. Drop your head. Start your twist and release for your shoulders. All right, just 2 more breaths. Preparing to unravel, press the left hand into the floor, lift your right arm up, and straighten back the right foot. So your right foot is on your mat. Left hand, creep it in front of your shoulder a little bit. Start to set up the left shoulder blade so it's nice and strong as you press into the right foot. Lift your left knee and straighten out the left leg. Keeping the foot off the floor, squeezing your thigh bones together as you look up. Stay for 3. Breathe for 2. And want to transition, right hand goes down all the way over to side plank, other side. So you might choose that position like your tree legs, like you did on the other side. And what you want to do with your left arm is totally up to you. Breathe. For 3. For 2. And 1, a downward facing dog. Come forward to a high plank, and here you can chaturanga, lower halfway, putting your knees on the floor, not upward dog or a cobra. And then a downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, straight away. So low runner's lunge as you do this pose. Got like equipment everywhere, wires and, all right. I didn't set myself up very well for this. Okay, so low runner's lunge. Let yourself get a little buoyant in your hips. Lowering, keeping the right knee bent. And then as you place the left hand down, right arm is gonna come up. Okay, on your inhale, the right hand will reach back and your left hand will reach forward. And then inhale, arms come up. Exhale, warrior 2. So, I don't know what's happening today. This, like, everything's falling. Okay, warrior 2. Bend your knee. Relax your shoulders. All right, stack your shoulders over top of your hips. Inhale, your arms come up. Exhale, arms reach out. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Right hand goes back. Exhale, let's pivot to the ground. Left hand will flatten, lift the back heel, and transition to side plank. Full version, wild thing version, or modified version. Right foot in front of you. Hold for 3. Breathe for 2. And exhale, downward facing dog, forward to high plank, and lower halfway, chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Step your right foot forward, right foot again. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, twist to the right. Left elbow touches on your knee. And twist. So if it feels better to drop your back knee so you can twist, do that. So many different variations you can go into. I'm just going to be really loose today with your own artistic expression of the posture, of the twist. Stay for 3. Breathe for 2. We're going to rise back up. So lift your back knee if it's on the ground, all the way up into warrior 2. As you bend deeply into your right knee. Arms out. Look at the inside of the right foot. Just make sure you can see it. Soften your shoulders, but extend the arms like unwaveringly. Nobody could push your arms down. And breathe. Exhale, place the right elbow or forearm on the right knee. Inhale, left arm extends. Getting long. Press the left foot to the floor. Look up. And again, on your exhale, left hand plants and coming into side plank. If you want to lift up the right leg, whatever variation you wish. Stay for 3. Breathe for 2. And a downward facing dog. Come forward to high plank. Your chaturanga. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Okay, left leg comes forward and you find a low lunge. So you can rock yourself forward and back. Getting buoyant in your hips. But steady in your right leg. All right, placing the right hand down. Left arm comes up, so a twist open to the left. And as you get really strong in your legs, you know that you're lifting all the way up and back. So left hand is going to reach to the back wall, right hand to the front. Take an inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Opening up to the side. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, arms open up. Inhale, reverse your warrior, left hand back. Exhale, windmill, right hand plant, side plank, wild thing, modified side plank, whatever you want. Stay for 3. Breathe for 2. And 1, downward facing dog. Forward to plank, lower halfway. Chaturanga, upward dog. And downward dog. Breath in. Step the left foot forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow meets your knee, and you twist. So same thing that you did on the other side. If you would like to drop the back knee, find another variation of twisting, expanding. Keeping your spine really straight as you do that, though. So straighten out your back leg if it's not. On your inhale, you're going to rise all the way back into that warrior 2. Open. Relax your shoulders. And as you bend into the left knee, look at the instep of the left foot. Relax your shoulders, but keep your arms so strong. Take a breath in. Exhale, left elbow, forearm to your knee. Right hand sweeps forward in front and way past your mat with the right fingers extended. Take a full breath. As you lift the right heel, plant the right hand and move into that side plank variation. Lifting the left side body, adjusting, breathing, strengthening. Stay for 3. Breathe for 2. And 1, downward facing dog. Forward to plank and lower halfway. An upward dog or a cobra to guide the shoulders back. And a downward dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. And again, with generous bend of your knees, a forward fold. Hold your elbows. Drop your head. Maybe you prefer just to have your arms dangling or even walking onto your hands to massage your wrists with your fingers or your toes. All right, releasing the grip. And then you can take your feet closer together. If you prefer your feet hip distance apart at all times, just keep them like that. Otherwise, the balls of your feet, big toes touch and heels are apart. Fold. Inhale, halfway lift. You will bend your knees a lot, like you're gonna sit yourself into a chair as you pull your hips back. And you're going to reach your arms out in front of you. Palms face each other, and then plug the shoulders into the sockets and run the shoulder blades down your back. So your neck gets a little longer. And then lean back into the heels. Sitting down low. And then gather your hands to your heart so you lengthen your spine. When you exhale, twist to the right. Take your elbow to your knee and turn. Maintain the integrity and strength in your legs as you do this. Keep your hips low. Look down first in front of you. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Keep your knees bent. Hands to your heart, and let's go to the left. A twist. Getting low into your hips. Keeping the strength in your legs as you twist. Staying low, look down. Inhale, arms come up. Lift your heels. Set your hips on your heels. And then rest your knees to the floor. Keep your arms over your head. Take your hands together and just crossing your thumbs. Okay? Take your feet, put them flat down on the floor. Knees, feet together. Lengthen up tall. And upon your exhalation, navel to spine. Slowly come down for 5. For 4, try and put some pressure on your feet. For 3, 2, and then 1. Half tortoise. So with your palms together, extend your hands away from your face. Try and just have your pinky fingers touching the floor. And try and pull your hands back as your shoulders melt away from your ears. Then apply a bit of pressure between your knees. This wakes up your core body. Just make sure you maintain a steady breath as you do this. Keep your hips on your heels, and we're going to slowly come up for 5. Try and hover. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way upright. So right hand is going to sweep down to the floor, and left hand is going to go across your body over so you get a nice long side stretch. Exhale. Go the other way. Left hand down. You can always put your left hand on a block if you need that. And then we're just going to flow from side to side. So when you exhale, go to the other side. And when you inhale, you can even start to lift your hips away from your heels. The exhale is to transition to the other side, and the inhale is to find your expression, whether that's a side bend sitting, or it's more like a variation of camel. And if you feel any kind of tension in your low back, you can separate your knees, your feet, or you just don't lift away from your heels. Let's do 2 more on each side. You can even enjoy this by closing your eyes. So I'm on my last one here. Inhale. All right, so we're going to do one more thing. If your ankles are screaming at you, take a little break. Do a downward dog. I'm going to take my knees wide, and I'm going to stay sitting on my heels. A block might be necessary to place between your shoulder blades or a bolster. Okay, you're going to start to lean back all the way. If your knees don't lift away from the ground, you continue going back onto your shoulders. And so whether you land on your block or the mat, it's just important that you enter a space of just sort of settling into the posture. Breathing. Making sure you're not compromising any part of your body to get into the pose. So sometimes we just so badly want to get there, and our body's saying, no, I don't want to. So just listen to your body. Always. Let the palms of your hands face up if you are on your shoulders. Take 2 more breaths. Long and steady. Slowly come back up. And we're just going to go into a wide-legged child's pose for a couple of breaths. And then we will unravel the legs after. Just one more breath. All right. So come onto your belly. Take your left arm. Actually, we'll start with the right arm. Take the right arm out. Just ensure that your right elbow lines up with your right shoulder, and press the left hand into the floor. Roll the right shoulder back. If you've been to my classes before, I've probably drilled that in your head at some point. And just rolling onto your side. Left foot can come on the floor behind you. And rest your head. We're just here for 2 more breaths. And then come onto your belly. Let the blood flow back through the right side. Prepare for the left. So left elbow lines up with your shoulder. Roll the left shoulder back. And roll as you press into the right hand. Roll onto your left side. Place the right foot behind you. Take 2 more breaths here. Come back up, down onto your belly. Blood flowing back through that left side. And then you're going to gather your hands underneath of your shoulders. Tuck your toes under, shoulder blades down into the back pockets, and press up. High plank, downward facing dog. Drop your head. Step your right foot forward into a crescent lunge. Now we're going to drop the back knee for a moment. All right, take your hands, interlock them behind your head. Press into the left knee and lift your back foot. Maybe you drop your head into your hands and just balance. If that is totally not working for you, straighten out your back leg. Lift your gaze. All right. With your left knee on the ground, you're going to sweep the left arm underneath your right, cross twist, tie your arms. Lift your elbows up, tailbone towards your right heel, gaze up. Eagle arms. And then lift up your back knee, looking forward. Left leg is going to come up and over top of your right leg. Into your eagle pose. A posture of clear focus, determination, alignment with your inner being. So finding that center point, the central nervous system, your spine, line it up. Unravel first your arms, then unravel the left leg flying back. We're going to press into the right foot and find a half moon. So a block under your right hand, if you wish, slightly off to the right. And then have some fun with this pose. So you might find different variations that you want to play with. Just take away all the rules of this pose The only rule is that you're balancing on the right foot. That you're stretching the front line, the left side body, and then have some fun. Two more breaths wherever you are. And the next pose is fingertips touch the floor. You're looking down, still balancing on this right foot. And then just a big long step back with the left foot. You can drop your left knee and find a half split. So preferably you keep your left hip over top of your left knee and you just lean back. Press firmly into the right foot and keep your right knee a little bit bent. And if you're ready for a bigger posture, then you bring your feet further apart and you go into full splits, keeping your left toes tucked under. And then just enjoying that for 2 more breaths. All right, the next posture we go to, you lean forward and just dropping the right knee in front of you, pigeon. When you're ready, come down to your elbows. And just unraveling some tension here in this pose. A couple more breaths. Hands come under your shoulders and you can just step back for plank, chaturanga, upward dog, and a downward dog. Left leg, step it forward, crescent lunge. Drop the back knee, interlock the fingers behind your head, gaze up as your head falls into your hands. And you can choose to lift your right foot as well. Press your elbows up, drop your head. Keeping your knee on the ground, you're going to extend your arms out and take your right arm underneath the left cross twist tie. So with the eagle arms, lift your fingers up, tailbone towards left heel, and start to drop your head. Finding your extension of the spine. And then into a neutral position, lifting the back knee, right leg up and over top for eagle other side. As you squeeze your legs together. And then that central point where you let your knees come a little to the right, elbows a little to the left. You line up. And you breathe. 2 more full breaths, in and out. Let your arms go first. Straighten out the left leg and let your right leg extend back. Left hand goes down, start to open up the hip. Maybe block under the left hand. And you can play with versions of half moon, whatever you did on the other side. No rules. Let your fingertips touch the floor. Extend the right leg behind you. Look on the floor. And a big giant step back. As you drop your back knee, and it's a half split for this left side. So the left heel, the back of the heel presses down. You extend yourself right over top of your left leg. So just 2 more breaths here. And then preparing to come into pigeon on this left side. And then you just lower yourself down to unravel, to settle in. Couple more breaths. And then come upright to seated with your feet in front of you. Just with your hands behind you and your feet wide, you're going to let your knees fall to one side and the other. Just go a few times, side to side. Drop your knees to the left. And then come upright and twist to the left. Lengthen up through the left side body here. Okay, come back to center, straighten out the right leg out in front of you. And so from here, you can grab a hold of the right foot and lift your left arm up high, up and over. To hold onto your foot or to rest your arm on your head. So you can stay here if you feel like your side body is really benefiting. I have some damage in my low back, so I really find that I get a lot of relief with side lengthening. It's so good for relieving tension in my low back that just builds up very easily. And then coming up, take this right foot and just bring it in front of the other foot. And you're just going to turn yourself over to the right. And your heart is going to kind of rest on top of the right knee. And you'll feel this again through that whole left side. And it's just helping to balance the muscles that are holding the rib cage and the pelvis together. It's just helping to release any of that fascia and tension there. All right, and then come up to sit, and we'll pull this left knee in, just a final little rinse out of that side. So left knee squeezes in and lift the foot up and over. Right arm is going to hold your knee. Now you can sit just like this. Turn to the left just a little bit. You might notice that you'll get more out of pulling your knee towards your chest than you do out of the actual twist, but everyone's different, so you can play with it. Press the left foot into the ground and twist. I find that as soon as my body comes away from my leg, I don't get as much of a stretch. And I'm going for the whole outer hip, even into the low back. I'm going for that. So if you want to pull the knee in and just turn, see if that gives it for you. All right, and then bend the knees, feet on the ground. Drop your knees over to the right. Let yourself come up and twist to the right. And so now we get into that right side, so just creating some space as you lift away from the hip. So almost like your right shoulder wants to lift up. All right, and then come up and extend your left leg. Reach for your left big toe. Right arm comes up and over. Just a couple more breaths here. And then up, bend your left knee and let your heart come over top. So you want the left shin in front and heart over top of left knee. All right, and then coming up to sit, last one. Right knee is going to pull in. Lift the foot up and over. And then hug your knee in with your left arm. Both your hips on the ground, your spine straight. Just creating a couple breaths. And you can go into that twist if that is more beneficial for you. Okay. Unravel and just come onto your back. All right, so final posture before Shavasana is going to be a shoulder stand. So if you would rather place a block or a bolster under your hips and just lift your hips up, that's totally fine too. Otherwise, you lift your feet up towards the sky. Definitely without moving your head, you can slowly bring your feet up and over. And so plow pose is where we want to be with the feet on the ground. Your knees can be bent and on your forehead, or they can be straight. Five more breaths here. And then if you'd like to go back up with your feet before you roll down onto your back, you could do that. As you come all the way onto your back and settle fully and completely into Shavasana. And we'll take a few big breaths here together. So take a big breath in. Suspend your breath and hold. And let it out. Let's do that again. Big breath in. And hold. All the way out. We'll just do a big breath in and out in one go. And out. Let your mouth close. Steady breath. Natural breath. Body is weightless and still, at ease. This is your Shavasana as long as you want it to be. For your body to rejuvenate. For a chance for a meditation maybe that you enjoy the rest of your time on your mat. I'll see you next week. Namaste. I couldn't see the end session on there, so I couldn't see the end